I went shopping, and I got a few things.
We have an engine! They're clean, they're smooth, they are ready to be painted. Okay, so here is what's going to happen. I have my safety glasses on because we are going to be using one of these. This one is a little bit less scratched than the other ones, but basically what we're going to do to start is we're going to take this Dremel and we're just going to run around the edge of this wheel, kind of smoothing out all these scratches and make it look pretty. Let's start on low. Okay, and I know it looks more scratchy than it was, but feeling this, it feels buttery smooth now. So now what we are going to do is I'm going to do the same thing to the other 3 wheels, and then after we're done with that, we're going to go over this with these 3 sandpapers to kind of sand it down and make it ultra smooth. Starting to get the Roy Hall Letterman Lanigan wheel look, but once again looks a little bit choppy, but feeling it out, it feels really, really smooth, which is exactly what we want, and it's going to feel even smoother when we get this stuff on there. Okay. Dremeling is done. Now, some sanding these. Okay, we have a wheel, a cup of water, and an itty-bitty paintbrush. So what we are going to do is we're going to take some of this water, dab some of it over the edge of the wheel, and we have 3 different kinds of sandpaper. They get smoother and smoother as they go on. This is 600 grit sandpaper. We're going to go from 600 to 1000 up to 2000. And so then we should be in a position where it's super duper smooth. So smooth. Once again, looks like it is very scratched up, but we're going to go over that with paint and touch it up and make it look a whole lot better. Basically make it look brand new. So what I just did this one, do to the other 3 wheels. Alright, I just finished up the last wheel and look at how well these things came out. The sanding worked amazing. They look smooth and they feel smooth. This is great. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take all these and we are going to touch them up with some paint. Okay, I think I've decided what I'm going to do. So I have another tiny paintbrush, and right here I have this graphite metallic model paint. So I'm basically going to use this and this tiny paintbrush to touch up the edges, and hopefully it comes out well. Alright, seeing as this is going to take a while, I'm going to do this again. And one whole day and many coats of paint later, and we are finally done with the wheels. Check this out. Got all of the scratches off, sanded it down, and I put on this new coat of paint, and now it looks amazing. All these wheels have been fixed up, all the paint's dried, and now these wheels are looking extra fresh. I even did the backs of the wheels on the rear wheels, because even the backs were a little scuffed up, not sure why. Wheels are completely freshened up now, and obviously we're going to get new tires to go on these wheels, but that is a huge aesthetic improvement for this season. Next up, we take care of this stuff. Painting, we go. Okay, I just finished laying down the first coat. It's going to take a while for this to dry, and then I'm going to have to put a bunch more coats on top of this. So, snappy hands. Boom! Fast forward a few days, and the first layer is done. Take a look at this. It turned out so well. This is just a rust old steel color, but it's a really nice silver. It's not too shiny, but it's also not matte, which is what that looked like before. So that's good. And now we're gonna work on the second coat, which is going to be that red over there. So some red accents. I've already started working on this piece right here, and in theory we're trying to make that look like that. We have a very big problem. The tape is taking the paint off of the nose piece. So that means that we'll probably have to repaint this, probably let it sit for a very, very long time, and then I guess see what we're gonna do to troubleshoot this issue. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. We have the panel here that was removing paint, and we're basically gonna perform the same procedure on this that we did with the all the other panels originally to get the residue from the stickers off. We have this paint thinner here that we're gonna dab over the top of it, let it sit for a while. That should take the paint off, and then we have this plastic primer that we are going to spray over it before we put the silver layer on. That should make the silver coat stick to the panel more than it did before, because these paints don't really like to stick to plastic surfaces. So this should help, well, let's see if that works.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, step 1 complete. The panel is now back to its original black state. Now you're doing primer, and my mom is leaving.
1 eternity later.
Okay, so the problem with the front nose has been solved. I got some of that plastic paint primer you see over there, and I put that on underneath this silver coat, and well, theoretically now it should stay in place. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. Now the task is to tape off all these body panels, and as you can see I already started on some of the ones over there. Pretty much all that's left is to do this. So let's do this. Okay, everything that is not covered is going to be red, so that's going to be red. Alright, and just like that, the red is done, and it turned out absolutely amazing. Pretty much every single panel came out perfectly, and so far this is looking absolutely amazing. So now what we have to do is we have to tape off all of the black accents, which is probably going to take the longest out of anything, but best get started now, so that we can finish sooner. This is just my PSA for you guys, because as you guys know, I'm an idiot. Don't paint with white shoes on. Now, my shoes, as you can probably see, have a bit of a reddish hue to them. Maybe that's because I did red spray paint with these shoes on. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. Don't do it. Don't do stupid things. Everything that is not covered is gonna be black. I have to do this with all those other panels, so here we go. Okay, many long and perilous hours later, we finally finished taping off all of the black sections. So once again, everything that is not covered will be painted in black, and then if all goes well, this should be the last thing. Alright, all the tape is off and it looks unbelievable. It came out so well. I was genuinely not sure at first whether I was going to be able to pull this off, but pretty much every single panel came out perfect. I literally could not ask for a better outcome. There are a couple steps we still have to do first. One, you'll notice that on some of these side bits of the rear bumper, there's a bit of paint peel there. That was from the tape, so we might go over those sections again with the silver. Just those sections right there. Nothing else needs to be done. And then maybe the back side of, the back side of this too. This one also got a bit of tape, a bit of paint peeled off from the tape. So I might have to go over those a couple of times, just to make sure all the paint is even. But aside from that, everything came out great. This is going to look so good when I get it out on the track. And then once all the painting's done, we have this roll of paint protection film, and I'm going to put that over all of the exposed areas of the kart, so that in the certain event that someone puts a donut on the side of my car, then all I have to do to take that donut off is just rip that sheet of PPF off and then put a new one on. So this paint is always protected and is always looking good. Okay, last thing. We have to put this paint protection film on all of the bodywork. So I have some various tools for taping and cutting. And so basically I'm going to try and do something similar to what I did when I was putting the vinyl on my helmet. Yes, I did that on my own. Probably going to try and do is I'm going to cut off like a piece of this vinyl, and then I'm going to lay it over the top and then sort of like trace it out as I go, since I don't really have an amazing way of doing that. So that's what we're going to try and do. We'll see if that works. So, yeah.
12 seconds later.
Okay, well, I finished putting the PPF on the face part of this nose piece, and it looks terrible. It looks like a 4-year-old did it. I don't want to bully myself, but it just doesn't look right. It looks all smudgy and crinkly, and it did not go on clean at all. There's creases everywhere that I cannot get out no matter how hard I try, and it just does not look right. PPF is usually something that is put on cars where you have a perfectly smooth metal surface where pretty much the entire thing is going to be uniform and it is going to stick on there. This is plastic. It's just not the case. This stuff just is not made for plastic. As much as I want to protect the paint, I don't want to sacrifice the look of the kart just to have this like kind of crappy looking vinyl on here. So we are going to take it off. Right now you can already see this looks a lot better than this does. And there we go. So we're just going to run it like this and hope that no one dings it up, but they probably will. Something that I will do, though, that I forgot to do before I tried putting PPF on there, is put a clear coat finish on all of the body panels, which should at least protect it a little bit more than just the base paint did. So, I mean, obviously this thing is still going to get scratched up either way, but hopefully the clear coat will help protect some of that, and that is something that we might actually be able to layer on without it looking wacky. So, yeah, let's put some clear coat on. So let's review. Front headrest, on backwards. Front seat, practically sitting 90 degrees up. Front seat, scooted up all the way to the point where my torso is almost touching the steering wheel. So, you ever wondered how moms drive their cars? This is how they do it. Alright, clear coat. Hopefully this goes well. Alright, Both of these are garbage. Guess I have to go get new ones, so that's just great. Okay, one Menards trip later. Brand new bottle of satin clear coat. Hopefully that fixes our problem. Alright. Hopefully when that dries, we should be good. Alright. So, after 2 clear coat layers, it looks like everything is looking good. So, obviously the clear coat won't completely protect it. It'll still get extremely scratched up, but it'll definitely protect it at least a little bit. And it definitely looks a lot cleaner now, so great success.
Eventually.
Rise and grind, sailors. It is Friday. Alright, you guys know the drill. 2 hours. Up to MGM we go. Boom! The engine is done, and it is back at home, and it looks amazing. Mike Gadberry did an amazing job with this. It looks brand new again, and he changed up a bunch of things which I probably know absolutely nothing about, but it tells me on this little sheet here, so I'm going to read it off to you guys. So, according to my little sheet here, he changed the valve springs, intake valves, exhaust valves, valve cover gasket, cylinder plane gasket, head gasket, thick wall clear fuel line, another fuel line, bowl gasket, the carb float needle, the header sleeve silicone, the exhaust bolts, the auto line 3910X, whatever that is, tell me in the comments, exhaust hose clamps, these things, the intake gasket, the muffler hose clamp, that's this thing, the fuel pump and riser kit, there's a brand new fuel pump on here, and then the report from Mike is that the overall leakage from the engine was 2%, which is pretty good. This engine's only a year old, so I guess it couldn't have gotten that terribly bad, or unless I was completely abusing it, which I sincerely hoped I wasn't, but looks like I wasn't. And the float was 7.4 grams, so everything looked alright to him. And there's new carburetor, new head, and then all of the cleaning work. Yeah, engine's looking brand new again. As you can see, we have all the MGM stickers on here. And as an added bonus, let me go grab it. As an added bonus, I won an award from the Kartplex banquet that won me a MGM clutch. So, I mean, this isn't really anything special apart from the ordinary clutch, but brand new clutch, that's always a great thing. And completely refreshed engine, brand new clutch, and then a whole bunch of other stuff to go on the cart. In the next vlog, all of these things that you see before you, all of these things that we've been working on over the course of the off-season will be put on the cart, and we'll finally get to see the cart in its full refreshed glory and finally take it for a spin for the first time in 2023. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys for following the season prep process, and so far everything's going well. So hope things keep going this way, and I'll see you guys in the next video.